Welcome back to Aeon's End. We're playing against the Rageborne. We're playing with Mist and Zahanna. Two-player game. And I guess let's begin. So this is, of course, our turn order deck. I've shuffled it once, but we're gonna shuffle it again here just so you know nothing has been stacked. It's 6 cards, 2-player 1s, 2-player 2s, and 2 Nemesis. All right, and yeah, there we go. Done. So now we're going to find out who gets to go first, and let's hope it's one of our players so we can knock out one of the minions. It's player 2. All right, player 2 gets to go. Player 2 is Zahanna right over here. So let's go down and take a look at her cards and see what we're going to do. All right, so we're over here with Zahanna. Of course, first thing we need to do on a player turn is the casting phase. We're going to cast any prepped spells. We do have one. We have Spark. And it's on the 4th rift here, which is a +1 damage on casting. So we're going to cast the Spark spell, which does 1 damage, +1 for breach 4. Discard it immediately when we use it. We're going to be dealing 2 damage. Let's go to the Nemesis area and figure out where we're going to apply the 2 damage. Right over here we can either apply the damage to the Rageborne, the Provokers, or the Banesire. We're going to hit the Provoker. It only has 2 health left, and that's going to kill it. So basically what happens is the Provoker has been eliminated, so it's not going to function anymore. I'm actually going to put it on the bottom of the Nemesis deck, get it out of the way. This one will then slide over. So we've managed to get rid of one of the minions, so that's a good thing. Let's go back to Zahanna, and now she will be playing cards from her hand. That was the casting phase, so now we're into the main phase. Where we're going to be taking a look at Zahanna's cards, so she can prep spells, she can purchase relics, other gems, and more spells. So she basically has 4 crystals, giving her 4 ether, and she has the Eternal Ember spell. So we might as well go ahead and prep this spell, and let's say cast, deal 1 damage, or cast one of your prep spells. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply that to breach 4. And she has 4 ether to, I guess, spend. And I think what I want to do is I want to focus another breach. We want to get another breach open so we can do double spells. You can see here it says 2 to focus. So to focus a spell, we're going to rotate it once. That costs us 2 ether to do, so we've done that. Now we could prep a spell to this, but we don't have one to do that. And that leaves us, so we spent 2 of the ether, we have 2 ether left. I think for 2 ether we're going to get our first charge. I'm going to charge up our special power here once. And once this is completely filled up, we could spend it all, and Gravehold could gain 7 life. So we basically used up all our cards now. 1, 2, 3, 4. These go into the discard pile in any order you want, but they're all the same. So that's how they're going to go into there. And we're just going to draw 5 new cards for the next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is all of them. And her next hand is going to be a crystal. A crystal, a crystal, a crystal, and a searing ruby. So that's going to be her hand for her next play. All right, we're going to go back to the turn order deck and flip the next card to see who goes next. The turn order deck. And I should have mentioned at the beginning of the episode, so our Rageborne still has full health, 70 hit points. Gravehold, the city we're trying to protect, has taken 1 damage from 30 down to 29. All right, let's see who we have next. And the Nemesis goes. All right, well, how does the Nemesis turn work? Of course, we just follow a little handy card here. The main phase, we're going to resolve cards from the oldest to the newest. Then we're going to draw a new card. Well, 6 hit point, the Banesire. We're going to have to follow his persistent ability and his Unleash. Well, what does Unleash mean for Rageborne? The Unleash ability, Rageborne gains 1 Fury token. He has 1 Fury token. Now he has 2. Okay, and so that's the main phase. Now it's the draw phase. So we're going to draw a Nemesis card off top of the shuffled or prepared deck. And we have Cleave, which is an attack. Rageborne strikes. Ouch. Okay, well, the Rageborne's going to strike, and I'm going to put that on the bottom. Discard. So the Rageborne's going to strike. It has 2 Fury tokens. Let's take a look at what strike means. For the Rageborne, when Rageborne strikes, resolve the following in order. Draw a card from the strike deck and resolve it. Okay, so this is the strike deck. And we're going to just give that a quick shuffle because this gets shuffled every time. So we're going to resolve a card from the strike deck. And what do we resolve? We resolve this strike. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Any player suffers 1 damage. And okay, so Gravehold's going to suffer 3 damage. So it's going to go from 29 to 26. It goes to 0. We lose the game. And now we have to decide any player suffers 1 damage. And this is just going to get all shuffled back in again. So I'll just shuffle it offline. And we'll reshuffle it again if we get another strike. So following along on the Rageborne card. So one player is going to take 1 damage. I think we're going to have Zahanna take it. So she's going to go from 10 hit points down to 9. Okay, so following along. So we've done and resolved the strike deck card. Then you shuffle that card back in the strike deck, which I've just done. Rageborne loses 3 Fury tokens. Well, the Rageborne had 2. It's going to lose all of them, so up to 3, I guess. So right now the Rageborne is going to have no Fury tokens. And then we continue on. At the end of the Nemesis turn, if Rageborne has 4 or more Fury tokens, he strikes once. Well, he has 0 Fury tokens now. And so that's basically it. So we've resolved the card, we did the strike, and that's it for the Nemesis turn. Up next, let's see who is going to go next. That's player 2 again. So we're up to Zahanna going again. So let's go take a look and see what we're going to do with her. All right, so up first is the casting phase. We have the Eternal Ember, and it's either cast, deal 1 damage, or cast one of your prep spells. Well, this is the only spell we have prep. We're going to go ahead and cast it. Because it's on breach 4 plus 1 damage, we're going to be able to deal 2 damage with that. So once again, we're going to go back to the Nemesis area, and we have to deal 2 damage to either the Rageborne or the Banesire. We'll have to make a decision when we get over there. Well, we could go ahead and deal 2 damage directly to the Rageborne, or we can knock 2 hit points off the Banesire. Oh man, it's a hard decision. I think we're going to go ahead and hit the Banesire. We're going to go ahead and knock him down from 6 hit points down to 4. Want to get rid of these minions because they're just a constant source of irritation every time the Nemesis goes. But, you know, eventually we do need to get the hit points off of the Rageborne. All right, well, that's doing our 2 damage from our spell. We're back to Zahanna, and she's going to play the cards from her hand. All right, so we're going to take a look at Zahanna's cards. She basically has 1 crystal, so 1 ether, 2, 3, 4 ether, 5, 6 ether. But this could be used to buy a spell. You get 1 extra ether if you do so. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend 1, 2, 3 ether. So we're going to play those cards, and we're going to focus Close Breach number 3. You see here it says 3 to focus, which means we're going to rotate it once. And we're going to put that back. So it's 5 to open now. That leaves Zahanna to either 3 ether left, or we can use 2, 3, 4 to buy a spell. And I think we're going to do 4 to purchase a spell. So let's take a look. We're going to get Amplify Vision, costing 4 up here, 4 ether. And the cast is focus your closed breach with the lowest focus cost, deal 2 damage. If all of your breaches are opened, deal 1 additional damage. So this will help us out later on. But for now, it's letting us focus breaches and deal damage. So this is a pretty good spell. Of course, when you buy it, immediately goes in your discard pile. Now we can decide in what order we'd like to discard our cards. And I think, I guess we'll put the Searing Ruby first, but then that's going to give us 4 crystals in a row. That's okay. We're going to put them that way. And of course, we don't shuffle this. We just flip it over completely. And we're going to draw 5 cards for her next hand. 3, 4, and 5. So what do we have? 5 cards for her new hand is Crystal, 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 and 1 Spark. Okay, not a very powerful hand for next turn. But I do believe player 2 has gone twice already this round. All right, we're going to have the next turn. All right, turn order deck once again. And it's either going to be Nemesis or player 1. Let's see what we have. It's going to be player 1 gets to go. All right, we're going to go down here to player 1, which is Mist, and figure out what she's going to do. The first thing we need to do, of course, is cast any prepared spells. So it's the casting phase. Now, because these are open breaches, we don't have to cast them. But I think, again, it's in our best interest to do so. This is 2 spark spells, so we're going to have 1, 2, and that's going to deal 2 damage. And we can split them up because they're 1 and 1. Let's go over to the Nemesis area, and we're going to deal either 1 damage to Rageborne, 1 to the Banesire, or 2 to either one. So let's figure out what we want to do with that. All right, I think once again we're going to apply both of those sparks to the Banesire. We're going to take him from 4 hit points, knock him down to 2. So we're going to be getting rid of that minion pretty soon, I hope. And let's go now back to Mist and see what she's going to do with her cards. All right, so let's take a look at Mist's hand. She has a crystal, a crystal, a crystal, a garnet shard, and a searing ruby. So there are no spells, but she has loss of ether. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She has 7 ether she could spend on spells, or she could spend her 7 ether other ways. And I just not really sure if we want to get these breaches going or not. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take, well, it's for spells, eh? Well, I got to think about this for a bit. 1, 2, 3. We could focus, and then 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4. I think we're going to do a similar thing to what Hannah did. We're going to take 1, 2, 3 of the crystals for ether, and we're going to focus our 3rd breach. So 3 to focus, so it's going to focus one more time, rotating it clockwise. And that leaves us now 1. We don't have a spell prepped for the other player. Any players, nobody has a prep spell, so it will help to use it for ether. And this one is 2, so we have either 3 ether, or we can get 4 ether to purchase a spell. And I think we're going to do that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the same spell, the Amplify spell for Mist. And of course, this is the costing 4. Cast, focus your closed breach. The lowest focus cost, deal 2 damage. If all your breaches are open, deal 1 additional damage. So pretty awesome. That, of course, goes right on here the second we use it. And now we can put these back in any order we like. And well, I don't know. I think we're going to do some of these. I think we're going to put 2 of these crystals here, and then we'll put the garnet shard, the searing ruby, and the other crystal that way. All right. That is going to be that. And now Mist gets to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this discard, of course, just flips over. And she's going to draw 1 for 5. So her next hand will be crystal, 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 spark, and spark. So that's what she's going to have. Again, lots of basic cards. Could be in trouble. All right, back to the turn order. And we're going to see who's all right, next. Turn order deck. There's only 2 cards left. It's either going to be player 1 again or the Nemesis. And it is the Nemesis goes. All right, well, we know the drill. We have to look at the cards first. The Banesire has Persistent Unleash. Unleash means we add a Fury token to the Rageborne. He now has 1 Fury token. But now we have to draw a card to see what it is. It is a power. Okay, we haven't had a power card yet. To discard 3 cards. So what this means is if a player discards 3 cards from their hand, without using them, this will go away. We're going to put 2 power tokens on here. If there is no power token, or when you pull the last power token off, it's going to do whatever this says. We're going to unleash, and any player suffers 4 damage. That is not good. So that's going to be going here. It's not going to activate this turn, but it's going to get 1, 2 power tokens put on it. Ouch. So that's what's happening. Not a heck of a lot happened with the Nemesis. The Banesire added a token here, and we got this power card out, which isn't great. But now it's time for the next turn to happen, and of course we know that it is going to be player 1 because that's the last card left. Player 1. Once again, We'll go back to Mist's area and decide what she's going to do. Back to Mist. She has no spells prepped at all, so we're just going to skip the casting phase because there's nothing to cast, and we're going to take a look at her hand. She has 1, 2, 3 crystals and 2 sparks. Well, she's going to prep her 2 sparks to her open breaches, and she has 1, 2, 3 ether. She could focus a breach, but you know what we're going to do with these 3 ether? We're going to discard them to get rid of that Woven Sky card. So we basically discard them, and once again, well, we just got this card out for the Nemesis, but we're going to get rid of it. To discard 3 cards. We've just done that. So this card basically goes away. It's not going to happen, but that cost us basically 3 focus to do that by having to discard the 3 crystals. And that's going to be the end of that card, no longer in play. And we're going to draw 5 cards for Mist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will be her next hand. She has Garnet Shard, Crystal, Crystal. She now has Amplify Vision spell and Spark. So pretty good hand for next time. However, that is basically the end of the round. So I'm going to zoom out. We're going to recap what's happened here, and that will be the end of the episode for today. All right, so things heating up a little bit. Gravehold down now to 26 health. Not great. We do have the Bane Spire, or Bane, I keep calling Spire. He's a Bane Sire. We got him down to 2 hit points, so we should be able to take him out next round. The Rageborne has 1 Fury token, still has full 70 hit points. We've got a couple of better spells now in our decks, but they haven't showed up yet, except they did show up for Mist. Zahana's down to 9 hit points. She got hit once, and Mist is full at 10. So, yeah, things are going along, and hopefully we can power up a little bit more and maybe start damaging the Rageborne himself. So this is Aeon's End. We're playing against the Rageborne. There's, I forget how many, I think there's 3 or 4 Nemesis in the base game. Of course, I have the expansions. I think it adds 1 or 2 more. And so here you have it. So thanks so much for watching along. Once again, Aeon's End. We're playing against the Rageborne with Mist and Zahana. So thanks for your comments, your suggestions, your subscriptions and likes. Really appreciate it. Join me next time for the continuation of Aeon's End.